Simply put, if you do the optimal thing for growth year round, it is no longer optimal. Now we can see in the program that Arnold laid out.
That doesn't even make fucking sense at all.
Why would it all of a sudden stop being the optimal thing?
If something's optimal, it's optimal. When does it become not optimal?
When does it become not optimal? If your goal isn't what? Hypertrophy?
Yeah.
When is your goal ever not hypertrophy when you're training?
And here's the thing. The thing is, you don't have to
bulk even if to your put goal muscle on. Even if your goal is preserving muscle tissue, you still need to maintain, like we talked about earlier in this episode, you still need to maintain the forces, and still need to maintain those forces on your body that grew the tissue.
Yeah.
Okay. So you may not be trying to progressively overload at certain periods, but you'd better be training as intensely as possible.
Some heavy weight. Yeah, you better be
to maintain the tissues that you put on. Nothing changes. Like, just saying you have to change the structure of your workout. What does structure of your workout have to do with anything? You need to use the same structure of workout that got you big and jacked. That structure needs to remain the same. You need to maintain the same intensity or greater intensity if you want to get bigger, but you need to maintain the intensity if you want to keep your size. You'll change your volume and frequency if you're in a caloric deficit and you're using more non-weightlifting activities to burn more calories, because you don't want those things to impede on what you're trying to get done in the gym. So you would cut back on those.
Yep.
But ultimately, it's still the same fucking formula in the gym.
Yeah.
It should never change. I know, because I actually compete in bodybuilding, Mr. Bromley, and I'm able to progressively overload on my lifts the same way that I do year motherfucking round. And I can have veins in my ass cheeks, and I am still going to train the exact same way. And it doesn't matter if it's mind-numbingly brutal. Mm-hmm. That's not who cares, bro? The goal is the goal, and the means to get to the goal never change.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of dudes do. That they'll start training, and then as they get closer to their show, their intensity changes and goes down, and they just it's like they train they ease off the gas a little bit. It's like if you like you said, you just keep it up all the way through. If you're training, your form's good all the way through, and you, like you said, you keep the density and the size. That's what you need, is that stimulus.
Yeah, just a little bit more of a talk about bodybuilding prep, because I think this is important. Because this dude doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't. He can wear his white t-shirt. He can have his ring light shining on his face. And
where do you get those from? Five Below.
He can look so beneficent. You know what I mean? But the reason that people's intensity drops in a contest prep scenario is because, one, they maintained the same high volumes primarily that they were using when they were in a caloric surplus, and they weren't doing the extra non-exercise thermodynamic activity. They got a bunch more neat activity. They've even got steady state cardio and aerobics added in. Okay. So that's inflammation addition number one. They added something extra in that wasn't in before. That's putting a tax on their closed system of their body. So that's inflammation marker number one, resource drainer number one, right? Added in there right from the start. Then a few weeks in, they're cutting their calories. So that's number two, less resources to pull from, less ability to recover and repair, right? Add in more cardio. So you made the first entry has gotten even bigger. You're taking away food. They progressively do this as the competition season goes on. Well, then guess what happens? They're adding in the androgens. They're adding in drugs. They're adding in the extra stuff. Well, guess what? Those things, as they do have benefits and they perform tasks, but they also stress your body out. So you added in another big stressor. You're going to increase the doses on that leading up to the show. You're going to lower your food even more leading up to the show, and you're going to do more exercise activity next to the show. What didn't they change? What didn't they change? Most of them don't change their training at all. They're still doing high volumes. Now, they say they train their intensity, but no, they're not changing their intensity. They just can't work as intensely because they are beat to shit.
Yeah,
they progressively get more and more beat to shit. So then they just say that, oh, well, it's all just part of the plan, man. I change my training when I'm in a contest prep. It's just part of it. You know, you can't be optimal all the time. You know, you got to change it. It's all cycles and periodization, man. And it's ever evolving and changing. You got to have a guru to guide you on it.
Yeah. I mean,
like Alexander Bromley or like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Joe Weider's magazine.
You know, you just train less. Give your body more time to perform the other functions you're trying to put it under, right? Give it more of the ability to burn fat and take less emphasis away from trying to recover from the gym. So what did I do? I lowered my frequency of training. I started training once every 5 days, gave my body plenty of ability to let the cardio do its job and not be a net negative. It allowed me for the calorie reductions to not be a net negative. And I was still able to progressively overload. That's huge, dude. I mean, like, I decided to stop beating my lifts 2 weeks out because, frankly, I didn't need to anymore.
Yeah.
And
you're good 2 weeks out.
Yeah, I didn't feel like a rundown, blasted husk of a human being. I did it like 2 weeks out, you know, just because I was so lean, but not for 6 weeks like most of these guys feel like. So
yeah,
all that to say, we'll make that into a YouTube video, but this guy has no idea what he's talking about. And then to use bodybuilders from the 70s as as the benchmark of what to do in a contest prep scenario, that's hilarious. Good job, buddy. Good job. Wow.
What we're looking for here is the precise, the least amount of exercise required.